Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome back to the Plane Guy with me, the Plane Guy. You are all very warmly welcome back to the channel, whether you are new or a returning subscriber. Now today we are returning with some more Aerosoft A330 content. Now in today's video we're going to be looking at some tips and tricks for the aircraft, and I'm going to be showing you a few quirky things that you may have not known about the plane, as well as that we'll also be addressing some issues you also may be having as well. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this Aerosoft A330 tips and tricks video. Now, one of the features that I just absolutely adore is the fact you can upload documents to the electronic flight bag. This is very helpful if you don't want to keep minimizing your screen or printing off lots of documentation such as your OFP. Quite simply, whether it's a checklist, OFP or anything like that, all you simply need to do is just make sure they are in a PFD saved format, and you can easily upload. Quite simply, to get it rolling, what you want to do is you want to head on over to your Aerosoft A3XX configurator. Now this is one for the Airbus A330. I've taken it out of the package and I've put it into my desktop. So obviously what you want to do with that is you want to run it as an admin. Okay, so once the configurator has loaded up, what you want to do is you want to head on over to AFB settings. You want to click Add File. You want to head on over to your desktop, and then you want to load up the file as appropriate. And there you go, that's all you have to do. Microsoft so much is that on their Airbus products they seem to always include a virtual crew that will run through the checklist and will set all the systems up for you. This means that you can simply focus on flying the airplane, and quite honestly, this sort of thing really does add to the authenticity of the whole experience. It really does feel like you are a pilot and you are actually amongst an interactive crew. And honestly, I do have to say, I really do like it, and I really do wish that a few more developers would include such a thing without having to rely on such add-ons like FS2 Crew. Now, one of the things you can do on the Aerosoft A330 is you can head on over to your pop-up MCDU menu here. Quite simply, you'll always have one available on the lower MCDU, or if you want, you can left-click on the top of it, and then you can get it to come up here. However you choose to do it, what you want to do is you want to head into options, and as you can see here, you've got an absolute vast array of them. So if we start off with sound, at the end of the day, if you want you can have some ATC on. Now this is a default sound, so if you use to the Airbus A320 from Aerosoft, then those are the same sounds. You generally have to leave that on for a few minutes. There you go. So yeah, if you want you can have that on. For me, I personally like to leave it off. The enhanced ground proximity warning system, I do recommend you leave that on, because that's essentially what tells you how high you are on the approach. So that's the 50, 40, 30 stuff, etc. Flight crew, yeah, you should have that enabled, as well as the cabin crew, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Now, views, yeah, you can set up your views however you want to. Generally, I don't touch this, and this is how it should look by default anyway. Like I say, I don't touch that. Head on over to checklist. Now, in order for you to be able to get the interactive crew, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your checklist is enabled with your co-pilot. However, I also recommend that you turn view focus off, because what it's going to do as it's going through the various items, say for example the parking brake, is it's going to highlight it up. However, I find that this feature is somewhat flawed, and it will bring up, in my opinion, not the best of view, so I personally recommend that you leave that to off. Info bar, if you want, you can turn that to on, as you can see there in the top right hand, top part of the screen. For me, I'll turn that on and off as I please. Today I have that off. Hotkeys, yeah, I recommend you have those on as well, but yeah, again, that's your personal preference. The 250 knot speed limiter. Now, if you're flying within Europe, now this is an Aer Lingus aircraft, I generally leave that on even in the States, because there's a standard speed restriction in Europe which is 250 knots indicated below flight level 100. So in order to have that enabled, you need to have that on. Now, like I say, because I'm actually flying out of the United States today, I'm actually going to disable that. Yep, then you've also got your flight data recorder. You can turn that on if you wish. You want to head on over to flight, then obviously you can pause at the various altitudes, all that, etc. You've got aircraft, like I say, these have some very interesting options, so if you want to change your weight, you can do that here. Auto rudder, that's entirely dependable on you. For me, I've got my rudders set up, so I have that to off. Tiller, now if you use to taxi with your rudders, I recommend you leave that to off, because it just makes life a hell of a lot simpler. Aircraft thrust bump, I leave that off. Fly-by-wire, I leave that on, because it reenacts the Airbus fly-by-wire system if you're looking for realism. weather. Yep, now at this moment I'm not on VATSIM, but if you're on VATSIM or IVAO, you can engage that weather system. So obviously, say if the weather here at San Francisco was 250 knots at 13 via VATSIM, then turn that on and engage it via VATSIM. Otherwise, sim default, it'll just go off the sim default, but that will still work with Active Sky, so don't worry about that. Now, one of the other things I want to show you here is the ground services option. So if you want, you can go and set your wheel chocks, you can go and set traffic cones, all that, etc. If you are using GSX services, make sure you put that to on there. Load your fuel. I'm going to show you how you sort that out in just a little bit. Connected flight deck. Yeah, if you want to go and join your friend for a shared cockpit session, you can do that. Aircraft state, quite simply, you just need to load up whatever state you want. For me, I've loaded it in cold and dark. And of course, aircraft doors. Now, if you are using GSX, these will open automatically. So, say if I just go and ask for boarding, when the trucks, when the tins, I can't even speak today. So, obviously, when the bins, that's what they call, when the bins arrive, obviously, and GSX needs to open the doors, you don't have to do it yourself, it'll do it automatically. And obviously, in regards to the checklist, in order to get that working, all you simply need to do is make sure checklist and Copilot is engaged. I've already done the checklist. Quite simply, this will highlight as orange, and all you need to do is click it, and that's it. Now, one of the things that I am commonly asked is, how do you actually turn up the brightness on the Autopilot panel here? Now, just in case you didn't know, you have two knobs under the actual panel here, and that's what you actually use to increase the brightness. So yeah, like so, we can turn it up there, quite high there. You can also turn it down, and if you want, you can also have some background lights as well, so they light up the Autopilot panel as well. I'm not too sure what you call them, I do apologise. But yeah, just in case you are having trouble with that, that's where you need to go. Also on the light topic as well, you've also got some floodlights as well, some integrity lights where you control the intensity. If you want some dome lights, quite simply come over here to the overhead panel. You can switch those on. You have storm options, you have bright, you have dim. You also have some central lights there as well. And you also have some reading as well. There we go. Now, one of the things that I really do like about the Aerosoft A330 is that you have an onboard printer. Now, one of the functions of the printer is to get a load sheet. Now, quite simply, in order to get the load sheet, what you need to do is you need to go over to the load and fuel page, and you need to put in all your figures, at which point you need to instant, and that's when the load sheet would actually come out, as you can see now. And then obviously that's good because you can obviously check the figures off via your OFP, make sure everything is good in that regard. Now also you can get other print-offs as well, such as the weather, which I will be showing you momentarily how to do. Okay, so in order to get your weather, what you need to do is you need to head on over to the ATSU option in the MCDU. You just want to make sure that you've done all your pre-flight beforehand. I generally do it after I've completed all the preparations on the FMC or the FMGC. So we go to ATSU, we go to AOC menu. First thing you want to do is you want to hit init. This will update with your call sign. OFP data, here you might have to put in your fuel. For us today we got 45.9, so we can send that data off. Fuel, if you want to print that off, you can do like so. We can also send that data off, but I've already done it. So yeah, we can get a print off of the fuel if you would like that. Departure ATIS. So yeah, I've already put in where San Francisco, so we'll hit Departure ATIS, and then we should go to receive messages. And as you can see here, we've got the airport weather. Now I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm just going to clear that. We'll just do it again. We'll hit Departure ATIS, and we're looking for company message. Once that's up, we can go into here, and we can print off the weather, like so. So yeah, here the weather for San Francisco. Now I haven't actually got Active Sky loaded. It goes off an internet-based source, so it'll actually give you the real-world weather. Because at the moment the QNH is actually 2992, because I've got it set up by default, but it's actually showing 3029 because it assumes you're using real-world weather. And of course, if you want any random airport, like say Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Oscar, Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Oscar, I know technically it should be Echo India Delta Whiskey, but we'll just ignore that. But let's just say we want the weather for JFK. All you simply need to do is put it in here like so. Request the weather, go over to receive messages, you should get it straight away. Bear in mind that it's going to take a little bit longer in flight. And what you want to do is you want to hit print. Go down here, left click, like so. And there you go, you got the weather for JFK. Now another print off you can get is you can actually get a takeoff report. So we'll hit it here. All you simply need to do is just hit print. And there you go, you have the reports here. So yeah, that's just a few of the features there of the printer. Now the Aerosoft A330 does actually come with a fuel planner. Quite simple to get it up. What you need to do is you need to load up the A3XX fuel planner. As a general rule of thumb, I always load up everything as admin. So just wait for that like so. Then what you want to make sure is that the A33 option is selected, and by default you can have 300 passengers. And here you can sort of adjust your load. Now for me, I don't generally do this if I'm on sim brief, which is 9 times out of 10, but it is very helpful. So let's just say we're going to take 264 passengers today. Cargo, we have about 10 free. Like so, if you want you can randomize it. You can also adjust your CG as well, which I think is very helpful. We can have it about there with a takeoff 33.3, 0 fuel weight, CG 34.5, that's all good. You can also change the units here just in case you want it. And here you can also get your fuel as well. So for us, we're echoing, sorry, we're not, we're Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Oscar. We're only going to do a circuit today, so Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Oscar. Even though we do actually have all this fuel, I'll tell you what we'll be better doing. We'll put in Echo India Delta Whiskey. As you can see there, you can just all the stuff like that. So if you've got your general wind information, let's just say it's 222 at 49, you can put that in, final reserve, all that stuff, and it'll give you a total fuel load. As you can see, we wasn't actually too bad there. I actually guessed the fuel load you just saw 45.6, so to only need 44.3 I think is a very good guess. And from that you can actually generate a load sheet, so you'll hit that up. If you're going over to the fuel option, you can hit generate load sheet and it'll pretty much do the same thing. Now one of the things I really do like about this plane is something called coffee time. Quite simply, what you need to do is you need to go down here to your video, you need to hit cockpit entry, and what it's going to do here is it's going to display the camera just outside the cockpit door. Very important because you need to know who's coming in out of the cockpit. And quite simply what you want to do is this, you want to hit your forward call button like so. You just want to wait for a few seconds whilst that's going off. We can get those turned off because quite frankly we don't need them. There we go. What you want to do is you want to lock the door, left click to do that.
Hello there, Captain. Your coffee. Enjoy.
Thank you. And there you go, we have some coffee. And oh look, it's a smiley face too, I'd never really noticed that before. So yeah, that's a very nice and quirky feature about this aircraft. Obviously I've saved the best till last. Now, just like to say thank you very much for watching the video. I certainly hope you have enjoyed it. And just in case you are wondering, for those that have been watching my Aerosoft A330 series about cold and dark and how to fly it, the third video, and that is going to be coming on the channel very shortly, hopefully within a couple of days. And of course, like I say, if you are interested, make sure you go and watch the Colin Darkin and my How to Fly the Aerosoft A330 series. In case you are learning how to fly the plane, I think you will find it very informative. And of course, don't not forget everyone to make sure you go and absolutely smash that subscribe button to make sure that you never miss out on any new videos as and when they are uploaded, as I will be publishing some more Aerosoft A330 content just like I said. And of course, please do not forget to absolutely smash that like button as well, as it is greatly appreciated. But from me, the Plane Guy, for once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.